Hi, and it's Barb Cooper from HelpMySquashGame.com. Welcome. Are you excited about playing your next game of squash? What a funny question to ask you. You should be excited, right? I mean, squash is the game that we all play and it's the game we love. But when I'm thinking about squash, sometimes I watch people play and it looks like it's work. No, it's only work for me. I'm a professional player. But you guys, you're all amateurs. So for you, it should be a fantastic, thrilling experience to really pit your physicality and your brain power against another player. Now, if you're excited about playing squash and you anticipate it and you're looking forward to it, then I think you've got a chance of really competing to the best that you can. And let's face it, when we go on a squash court, you know, I hate to say it, but one of us is going to win and one of us is going to lose. So you've got to accept both. But at least if you've given it your all and enjoyed it, you'll want to go and play again. And when you're taking even your kids out there, the biggest thing I'd love you to do is foster that love of the game and the competition. Then you know that people are going to keep playing all the time. But anyway, enough of the preaching. You know what I'm saying. I'm really trying to get you to really love this sport. Now, when I'm watching people play, I'm going to give you a crazy idea. Remember, I'm always about open concepts, things that will always work for you no matter what. The question I'm going to ask you is this. If you're standing behind the service box, so in the back of the court, where's the tin? What? That's a crazy question. No, let me ask you that question again. You're standing behind the service box, so you're in the back of the court, in the red zone, remember the red zone. I want to ask you where the tin is. So, I would expect the answer to be, the tin is that cut line, the service line. That's where the tin is. Because if you don't hit the ball over that line, I can guarantee you one thing, that ball will not go to the back of the court. So if you're attempting to hit a length, that's a return of serve, any length from the back of the court, your basic shot should hit above that line on the front wall. If you do that, trust me, I know you'll hit a better length. Now, let's go back to core and core planking. And I showed you some ideas last week about how to do it. This time I'm going to show you some advanced stuff. Again, I'm reminding you, do not attempt this unless you're feeling strong and you've built up to it. I'm telling you it's an advanced planking system, but it will strengthen your core. So this is an extreme board. As you can see, they call it sometimes a wobble board, but it's got one central pivot and then just a piece of wood. But that makes it very unstable. Now, when you're going to do planking using this, you don't want to put your hands on the edge, because that means all you're going to do is crush your fingers as you go down if you lose your balance. All right, so you need to put your hands on the board. Then what you're going to do is exactly the same thing as you did before. So you're trying to hold your balance using the board. If you want to, you can go down onto your elbows, but I suggest you set your elbows first before you do it. This is easier, obviously, because you've got a lower center of gravity here. Okay? And what you're trying to do again is build it up and make sure that you're working for, well, start off with 15 seconds, eventually build it up to a minute or so. But your back will be strong, your glutes are engaged, your hamstrings are engaged, all of your thighs and your core. Make sure you suck in your stomach muscles and get them strong. Happy planking! Did you like that? Good, I'm glad. Now, again, let's start talking about goal setting and let's start talking about principles and the book that I'm going to recommend this week. The book is The Zig Zag Principle by Rich Christiansen. And he's quite interesting when he talks about this book, because what he's saying is, you know, the path to your success is not a straight line. So in squash, what I'm trying to encourage you to understand is you're going to have your defeats. You're going to have your terrible days. But when you have those defeats and when you have those terrible days, are they a disaster? No, never. They're the only times you really learn. So if you can keep thinking about how you set goals, and even if you miss a goal, don't panic. Just go on, keep moving forward. It's one step at a time towards your major goal. And if you're practicing every day, I know that you're going to be improving your game. And your game's going to be getting better. So, now it's time for Ask Barb. And again, when we're in the tournament season and we're talking about competitive stuff, a viewer wrote in and said that they were nervous before a match. And how should they warm up to get rid of those nerves? First of all, what I'm going to suggest to you is don't get rid of the nerves. Enjoy them. Honestly, my view is this. If you're not nervous enough to have to go to the washroom before your match, you're not up for it. You're not ready. So I would say that's fantastic. That's a great sign. Now, if you start to feel nervous like that, one of the easiest ways to get yourself to feel better is to break a sweat. So whether you can go and warm up on a court or whether you can go and sit on a bike, it doesn't really matter. You need to get your blood circulating to the point where your adrenaline has actually gone through your whole body and you literally do break a sweat. Once that moment's happened, your body is going to be ready for work and it's going to be ready to compete. So when you feel nervous, first of all, don't be nervous about feeling nervous. Enjoy it. Secondly, know that you've got to warm up. And the fitter you get, the longer your warm-up has to be, because it takes a while to break that sweat. So that's another thing to remember on all of this stuff. It might take a while, but once you've done that, you're ready to perform. And so go out there and do the best you can. This is Barb Cooper from HelpMySquashGame.com, signing off. See you next show.